Traders, what's up? It is Monday, and here's your today's market. We are going to jump into talking about some, not much on the table, but we did have, let's jump over to the euro area inflation. It did tick down to 1.4%. As we know, that's been, dragging on the economy. That's been hindering, the ECB from wanting to raise rates, and that's why they started that new round of the targeted long-term refinancing operations. So the inflation continues to decrease. We have, let's look at the PMI quick. PMI ticked a little lower. Let's see anything else. Core inflation down a little. Employment seemed to have held at 7.8, which is that's a decent sign, but these are long-term things we want to pay attention to. Definitely need to pay attention to the retail sales coming out at 8:30. That'll be important to kind of get into the health of the economy as well for the U.S. Other than that, we have one of Trump's advisors, Larry Kudlow. He is also calling for a rate cut as of right now, and so is Stephen Moore, who is another nominee on the Fed Reserve that Trump wants to nominate. So we will be paying attention to that. This is really just giving an insight to how bad Trump wants, to see this stock market surge, and how bad he wants these lower interest rates to try to fuel the economy. So we will need to be paying attention to this. And jumping over to China, we have continues the trade talks continue to progress forward. Like I always say, don't be too optimistic on everything. But there are some concessions coming, and that is the Chinese government. It says right here it will suspend retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. autos. And that's due to also the U.S. was withholding tariffs on the U.S. as well. So I mean there's some somewhat optimistic news on it, but we're not going to know until we start obviously seeing we start seeing true concessions with this intellectual property that China has been doing for a while, and that's what the U.S. is majorly concerned about. Jump over to the charts quick. We do have this yen index. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we thought it was going to get a break. We did, and then get that retracement. It came up to the high. I called out, so we'd probably get we're at these highs. We're probably going to get a retracement on this index. We did. We are back down at this level. And it is possible, we could start to maybe push up a little higher, but as of now, we are going to wait on that. The U.S., we are in the newsletter. For this week, I said that we'd probably get a little retracement off of this high, maybe back down into this 205 area. That's what we're doing. So we will just have to watch that on some of the currency pairs. Let's look at the NZD. So we are here. This is kind of a nice 23.6. We get the consolidation below it. We get that break above. I'm looking for it to possibly come back a little, to retest this 96 area. And then we'll see if we can get a continuation to the upside. That's what we're looking for. Pound, let's see if there's anything on the Brexit front. They're having a vote today. So probably not much as of now. Probably not much as of now with Brexit, but that is something we do need to keep paying attention to. So again, we're at this nice structure level. Low, you want to call it support, you can. This possibility with what we really want to see some optimism regarding Theresa May's Brexit deal, and and also the uncertainty of a no Brexit kind of being pushed away. So if we start to see all that, we're going to see a lot more optimism come into the the GBP. We already are, that's why we get this long, we get that trend up, is because I think a lot of the bad stuff is done with Brexit. So we're kind of nearing the end of Brexit. Hopefully there is a possibility that it could be extended, so we will need to keep an eye out on that as well. Euro, check that out. We are still consolidated below these lows. So this is something I do kind of like. We will be paying attention to it some more. But the euro economy is still, kind of on the is still continuing to slow. We are going to look for, signs of a possible, well, maybe this is just a little dip in a longer term uptrend, maybe, but we will be paying attention to that for sure. CHF. We are definitely, we are consolidated up at these highs as well. We did break out from this little range last Friday. So I am wondering, maybe it's a possibility that we will continue, to possibly go a little lower, maybe into this rate region, maybe into this 212. We will be paying attention to that as well. Nothing really, for setups that we like as of now for the 23.6. But, it's a little waiting. We're going to be patient. Canadian dollar. We did end up pushing up a little higher. This is on the front of, the rig counts were starting to decrease, which means there's less oil being drilled. And this is the, rigs in the North Dakota and the Texas. So that gave, boost to oil, and this gave boost to the Canadian dollar as well. Let's see what's on the Australian dollar. So we do have the Australian dollar meeting tonight, and that is at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm pretty sure. So that will be important to, listen in and see how, the RVA talks, and if they're taking a rate cut off the table. And, they're going to talk about, the whole China tariff and trade. So that's going to be something. But we want to see that the RVA is starting to, kind of get rid of those downside risks they talk about, and start to see some more upside risks. Let's jump over to some of these currency pairs. Let's see, here we go. So first one we'll start off with, let's just jump to that NZD USD. So this is one thing I posted into the Trader Lounge and in the Slack. I'm looking for, more possible upside, possibly into this previous consolidation at 69. Mainly due to, this is a lot of the the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's talking about a rate cut. I'm looking to kind of fade that. I'm starting to see some optimism with this China stuff. I'm not going to be too overly optimistic and, take a huge break of that. But, I think just to right here, I think that you're not really asking for much. Let's jump over to USD JPY. Let's move this. So, I am looking at this to possibly sell off. I like this structure. We have a 23.6. We came up, consolidated on this 23. Let me get rid of this quick. So we were consolidating on this kind of 23.6 right here from this high, or from this low to this high. We came back up. We are now retesting it in this nice, 111 zone. So, I'm definitely looking for something that's going to push us down to, possibly this 50% again. I mean, you're still within, this range. This is price discovery. Price has already been down here. So it's going to be easier for it to kind of go back. If you're asking for a break of this whole 109, let's say this 109.75 level, you're going to need a bigger catalyst to, push you through. What's going to keep people selling below these lows? That's what you got to ask yourself. Jump to the euro. Price, okay. I definitely think we could maybe get some weakness in the dollar that's going to push us up, to this 13. So this is something I will be paying attention to. Strategy-wise, mean divergence. Let's see. Not really anything I would like to play, so I'm going to stay away from that. I just look at this, still kind of consolidated. JPY. So I was in this one, took a break here. I took a late break, got down to this, 78.2. That was a nice position. I'm sorry I did not call that out. That would have been pretty good. On CHF, let's look at that. Not much. Australian dollar CAD. Not really much. But, there's one thing I do want to look at onto Australian dollar USD. So we are okay from high to low. We came back kind of retested that 38.2, and now we are consolidating on this range. We are consolidating on top of this support zone, on top of the 23.6. So I'm starting to wonder if the worst for the Australian dollar is in place. We do have iron ore has been increasing. Anything regarding the RBA taking taking a no cut off the table is going to be bullish for the Australian dollar, especially since we are so far beat down. And a lot of this was mainly due to the U.S. dollar strength. So anything we can get regarding U.S. dollar weakness and some Australian dollar strength, let's get this is going to push us way up easily back into this 38.2. And we'll worry about these other levels as when that comes. When we figure out what's going to be a possible catalyst that's going to get us to these levels, and if that's going to happen. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much it. Not much. I will keep everyone posted. This is really quick. I did post this out into the Slack group as well. I did end up closing out a little early, so hopefully some of you guys might have stayed in. We know we did end up breaking here for probably almost 30 pips. You could definitely have your stops at break even. You'd still be fine as of right now, maybe even past break even. And we'll see if we can get that, actually hit this 20 or this 74.70. So I'm going to set an alert just to be out of curiosity. So we'll set out that region. We'll see if it hits that. This is how you should be executing the strategy, up into these certain fibs. You have your previous structure here. You have a 50% retracement right there. You're not asking for too much at that 50. So that was, this is a nice position, and we will see if that plays out. So that is it, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.